Today, the Blazers play their second in-season tournament game against the Utah Jazz. The Blazers are 1-0 in in-season tournament games after a thrilling overtime win against the Memphis Grizzlies. And although their record at 3-6 doesn't look too good right now, being undefeated in the in-season tournament means the Blazers are still alive to win the entire thing. And that makes tonight's game a lot of fun, in my opinion, because the Blazers head into Utah to face the Jazz, who are certainly a beatable team despite the Blazers' injury woes. And if the Blazers can take care of business against the Jazz, they would be 2-0, and then you can start talking about the possibility that the Blazers might be able to somehow win their pool. And early on in this season, we're just looking for some player development. Unfortunately, that's been zapped given the injuries that the Blazers are dealing with, as Anfernee Simons and Scoot Henderson will be out for this game. But winning games that matter for the in-season tournament is meaningful. It counts towards something. I'm a fan of it because it creates an intriguing storyline and gives teams like the Blazers, who are looking at a struggle for the rest of the regular season, a chance to do something, a chance to win something. And that's all you can really ask for given how this season has gone for your Portland Trail Blazers. So their opponent today, the Utah Jazz, come into this matchup with a record of 3-7. They rank 15th in adjusted offensive rating and 29th in adjusted defensive rating. So the Utah defense has not been good whatsoever. Of course, the Blazers offense has struggled. They are 28th in adjusted O rating and 24th in adjusted defensive rating. So maybe the Blazers can have a good offensive game today against the Jazz, given their porous defense, and maybe this can be a little bit of a shootout. I kind of miss the shootouts the Blazers used to get into back when they had a good offense and terrible defense. At least those games were high scoring and the offense was pretty for the most part. I'm curious to see where the final score ends up around tonight. As far as the Blazers pool, there are 3 1-0 teams, including the Utah Jazz, as well as the Los Angeles Lakers and your Portland Trail Blazers. The Memphis Grizzlies are 0-2 and the Phoenix Suns are 0-1. So should the Blazers be able to get a win against the Utah Jazz, it would put them alone at the top with a 2-0 record in their pool. Of course, for the in-season tournament, the 6 pool winners make the final 18 bracket, as well as the next 2 records. The tiebreaker is point differential, so if the Blazers or the Jazz have a lead late in this game, expect them to maybe try and run up the margins a little bit. As far as the injury report goes, out for the Jazz will be Walker Kessler, who is their best defensive player in my opinion. The second-year player is a really good rim protector. They're definitely going to miss him. Taylor Hendricks might miss this game because of an illness. He played recently in the G League, and he hasn't cracked the rotation for them yet. And then John Collins, it sounds like he'll be a game-time decision with an ankle issue. So that's a couple of front court pieces that the Jazz could be missing. Of course, for your Portland Trail Blazers, they'll be without Scoot Henderson, Anfernee Simons, I assume Malcolm Brogdon, as well as Robert Williams III, who's out for the year. I expect Skylar Mays to get the start again, alongside Sharp, Thibault, Grant, and Ayton. And for the Jazz, in their previous game, they started Jordan Clarkson at the point guard spot, alongside Keontae George, who's a rookie out of Baylor, Ochai Agbaji, a second-year player out of Kansas, at the small forward spot. Lauri Markkanen, and then John Collins started last game. If he's unable to go, it'll likely be Kelly Olynyk starting for the Jazz. Off the bench, they have Colin Sexton, Talen Horton-Tucker, who started some games this year, as well as Simone Fontecchio, who's a shooter. Omer Yurtseven will likely see some time if John Collins doesn't play, but this Utah Jazz roster certainly has some holes, especially on the defensive end, that the Blazers can try and take advantage of. Before we get further into this preview, let's thank a brand new sponsor, Mojo Fantasy. Shout out to our newest sponsor, Mojo Fantasy. Mojo Fantasy is a new app that turns sportsbook odds and selection into fantasy contests. Here's how it works. There are thousands of NFL, MLB, and NBA player props. You build a portfolio, and the better your portfolio performs, the more cash you win. Pick as many props as you want and try and beat the crowd. This is a whole new take on daily fantasy because the props act like stocks. You can buy and sell your props live all game long, making it the only fantasy app that lets you make moves after the game starts. That way you're not stuck with a bad pick. Or you can cash in on a hot start. You can also just hang on and let it ride. That's it. Make picks, make moves, make money. You can download the Mojo Fantasy app from the Apple App Store by using my download link in the description. And if you use my promo code Uprise, that's UPRISE, you'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100 for your first time deposit. Also, for those of you that use my download link and enter a contest, you will be automatically entered to win a signed Anfernee Simons jersey. Mojo Fantasy is fun and a new take on daily fantasy sports, so check out everything in the description and download Mojo Fantasy today. And the Anfernee Simon signed jersey has come, so if you want to win this thing, I'm not going to even take it out of the package. If you want to win this thing, sign up for Mojo Fantasy, enter a paid contest. I've already done one of them myself. It's a very intriguing concept, and honestly, I think it's a lot of fun. So definitely check out the app. Use the promo code, enter a big contest. It helps out the channel, and you could win this 6 signed Anfernee Simons jersey. Tonight, we'll be doing a live watch party for this game, and I will probably try and make some Mojo picks for that game, and then I can see how they go during the watch party and keep you guys updated on it. Maybe have something on the screen saying what my what my prop bets are and all of that. So that could be a lot of fun on an in-season tournament night. So definitely check out Mojo. Thank you to them for sponsoring this game preview. The key player for the Jazz is Lauri Markkanen, who was the most improved player last year. He's following up that season by having another phenomenal season, averaging 24 points per game and almost 9 rebounds. He's a sniper. He shoots 9 threes a game and makes 4 of them at a 44.6% clip. He shoots 53% from 2 as well. He's a really good cutter, plays really well in the flow of the entire offense, and he is a legitimate star level talent on the offensive side of the ball. Jazz's next leading scorer is Jordan Clarkson at 16.5 points per game. He has not been efficient at all so far this year, though. He's shooting 39% from the field, including 44% from 2 and 29% from 3. But Jordan Clarkson is the type of player that kills the Blazers, it feels like, where they are extremely inefficient all season long, but then against the Blazers, they bury a bunch of shots and look like an all-star caliber talent. So hopefully that's not the case for Jordan Clarkson today. I think that Matisse Thybulle will get the matchup against him. You got John Collins averaging 15 a game, so if he doesn't go in this game, that'll be a loss for the Jazz. He's having a bounce-back season, shooting 43% from 3 and 60% from 2. Colin Sexton is giving him 12 off the bench. He's a really good slasher, plays well in transition, but the three-point shot isn't really there for them at 33%. And then Taylor Horton-Tucker is averaging 10 a game. He's shooting 35% from the field, but a subpar 43% from 3. A couple key stats for the Jazz is they are the worst mid-range shooting team. They barely take any shots from there. They take the second fewest. They would much rather take threes, as they shoot 37.7% from 3, which is good for 3rd place in the NBA. They shoot the 9th most threes, so a big thing for the Blazers defense will be shutting down that 3-point line, because the Jazz don't finish that great around the rim, don't shoot many mid-range shots. They really rely upon that 3-point ball with guys like Lauri Markkanen, Kelly Olynyk, Taylor Horton-Tucker shooting the ball okay. What the Jazz will do on the offensive end is turn over the ball a ton. They turn over the ball the most out of any NBA team. They actually turn over the ball more than 2 times more than the Blazers do, and the Blazers are one of the sloppier teams in the league as well. So if the Blazers can force some turnovers, get out and run, that could be a key to this game. The Blazers haven't really gotten out and ran this year, but if they can force some live ball turnovers and get going the other way, that can provide some easy offense and can maybe swing the tide in this type of game. The Jazz also forced the 3rd fewest turnovers when they're on defense, so the Blazers should be able to take care of the ball in this one. Skylar Mason, Jamari Bouye did a really good job of that in their previous game, so we'll see if they can follow that up against a Utah Jazz team that doesn't force turnovers. The Jazz play at the 6th fastest pace in the league. Portland's pace has been getting a little bit quicker. They now rank 21st fastest, and defensively for the Jazz, they rank below average in basically every area. The key for the Blazers, in my opinion, in this game will be to run things through DeAndre Ayton a bit more, because if it's Lauri Markkanen on him, Kelly Olynyk, Omer Yurtseven, if John Collins doesn't play, and even John Collins isn't that great of a defensive player, the Jazz just don't have a good defensive front court. DeAndre Ayton, I feel like, if he has the right mindset, if he plays strong, if he plays aggressive, could feast in the paint if he wants to, and if the Blazers actually run things a bit more through him. And with the lack of offensive options for the Blazers, I think DeAndre Ayton could have his best offensive output of the season. That is a goal for Ayton in this game. I want to see him shoot at least 15 shots, and I think he should be able to score 20 points in this one. I would also like to see Ayton get to the free throw line. He's only shot in 3 free throws in the 9 games that he's played this year, which is absolutely horrible. So Ayton needs to be aggressive going up against this depleted Utah Jazz front court. Also, we'll see how Skylar Mays and Jamari Bouye play again. after their solid performances against the Lakers. I think Skylar Mays continuing his hot play as of late will be a huge key for this Portland offense that needs a steady hand at that point guard spot. And then I want to see Shaedon Sharpe be more aggressive. I want to see him try and score the ball a bit more. I would like to see his shot attempts up above 18 in this game. The Blazers just have to take it to this weak Utah Jazz defense if they really want to win this matchup, because the Jazz can score the ball. So it could be a bit of a shootout, and the Blazers just basically have to play with confidence and attack the paint, attack that front court. Anyway, I'll have another video up later today, so stay tuned for that, and then a watch party, and then a post-game show. So we got you covered with a ton of content today. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know what you think of this game tonight, and also thank you to Mojo Fantasy. Remember that download link in the description with the promo code Uprise, 100% deposit match, and you could get a chance to win this Anfernee Simons signed jersey. So with that being said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you next time. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.